So I stayed out of the whole dating scene for about, I'd say probably about a decade. Why? Being smart and being real with myself, being honest and upfront with people, whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that, I didn't really want to deal with all the bullshit that goes to, like, finding out, for example, that the fact that you dared to learn how to do something masculine better than your man actually causes more trouble, more fights, and more fucking damage. And I don't mean relationship-wise. I mean, if you can fix it, but they need to feel masculine, and you give them an opportunity, they will fuck it up, especially if they know that you've got more tools than they do. It's like, then they call you a fucking feminist and say that, oh, you gotta do this because you're a woman. Listen, world, the last time my thought process went through my vagina was like never, okay? Especially since at the time I was also taking the shot, the depot shot, which totally gets rid of your period. So I didn't even have PMS affecting any of my rationalizations. The way that I handle things is if I need to cry about something, it's usually out of panic, and I just go ahead and let myself get that out of the way. Period. Boop. Then I started to do this weird thing where I start going, and I start organizing and making, kind of in a structured sense, a loose recollection of the events that actually transpired. 10 times out of 10 in every relationship I've attempted, none of that shit ever made sense, because you would think that if you respected somebody, you would think that if you liked them, you would think that if they were ready to say things that they really didn't or shouldn't have said at the time, and then have you believe them, that they would at least attempt to put the actions with the words. But when someone's trying to tell you how they feel about something, and you keep telling them they're interrupting you before they've even finished one sentence, And that's when I realized that things get loud. Okay, so first mistake, ladies, that I made. I do not like injustice in any way, shape, or form. How dare one person judge another in a finite manner to say, I declare you thus, and declare it thus, without even, affording that person any attempt whatsoever to know they were on trial or any of it. Just write them off as if when you turn around, they disappear and they've been declared as thus. So obviously people never change. Not ever. Not physically. Ever. I had hair one time. All right, I think this is like proof that people can change, because this matches my personality. So thank you for that. But anyway, ladies, if you are being yelled at and you are in a said relationship and you're being yelled at, I dare you to not say a thing. It is phenomenal. First of all, don't defend yourself. Let them keep going. Make sure, if y'all are on the phone, right, by now I'm sure you've learned their habits. So it's like, if you know that they're getting ready to say the same thing they always say, I dare you to just literally put the phone right here and not listen to anything that person's saying. But wait until it gets quiet so you can hear the sounds of it, and do it for hours. So liberating. Meanwhile, they're yelling at you. Only here's the thing, is that if you need to yell at me, and I've not yet stated one point or view or anything about whatever it is you're ranting about, then you actually never won any argument, because I either did not participate, and number two, you can't win an argument on a fallacy, you fuckers. It's called ad hominem. It's like one of the most abused fallacy in argumentative fucking relationship, interpersonal, whatever drama. They get loud. They get really loud. I don't get loud. I think it's ridiculous. I'm looking at a grown man throwing a temper tantrum verbally, making no sense whatsoever, getting himself worked up, thinking that I'm listening to what he's saying. But the fact that he's behaving like a child instead of a person to a person he's supposed to be in a personal relationship with, it's kind of contradictory. And at that point is usually the point where I am absolutely no longer attracted to that man. No way. Like, our schedules are going to be off and I'm going to have headaches every fucking night. There's no chance in hell. Why? Because there's conversation, there's discussion, there's healthy debate, and then there's just fucking yelling. If you're yelling at me, I know, first of all, you don't actually have a point. Because if you need to get loud in order to make me walk away so that you can tell yourself that you won without making a point, you lost. So my reaction, naturally, is to, of course, go into a separate part of the house, because I don't really want to laugh at him, you know, because, like, usually when they get loud, they're, like, spitting at you, sort of, almost, and, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, dude, the bathroom door in every house is always the only door that's guaranteed to have a lock. All right, so how am I going to do this? All right, I'm going to go pee. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock the door, put on my Beats by Dre headphones, and literally play Sudoku for the next 6 hours in a luxurious bath with my shit bursting in my ears, and voila, no access. And the quicker you can get out, the better. But on occasion, I beg you, please, let him keep going. Because if you've ever tried to defend yourself against whatever they've said, they're going to assume you're going to behave the same way, right? Because now they see you as defiant. You've got to win. Even though your points are valid, it doesn't matter. Once the argument has hit that loud, emotional, like frantic, like, what are you saying kind of white noise, your brain literally gets triggered into shutting it into white noise. So even if you wanted to listen to what each other's saying, the fact that you're being yelled at is seen as an attack that actually causes your brain to shut down in a panic-like manner. You're going to behave like you don't want to behave like. You're going to feel regret later. And even if he feels like he won and you're trying to apologize and you text him, he still doesn't care because he won and you behaved like this, da 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 da. That's how that happens. But if you just sit there, you can learn the most incredible things about the person that you thought this person was that is not true, just by being quiet. Just once. And let it go, of course. And then when they like look like they're ready for you to talk and you say, okay, so it's my turn. Just, you wait. They're going to say yes. And you say, all right, well, see, what I was trying to do is, you know, like, it just seemed like there was an issue, and I just wanted to bring it up. But anyway, I kind of just want to talk about it because, like, I feel like my side's not... They will interrupt you. They will tell you, why are you interrupting me? As if you weren't just given the mic, all right? So right then and there, they see where your brain is actually being functional. And they panic. Like, you took the mic, even though they handed it to you. And I know. Oh, trust me. I love healthy debate, and I always believe that each person should be heard until they're done. It doesn't work that way. It never works that way. It doesn't work that way if they see you as the threat. and if they know that you've got an active brain, if you've ever done anything in front of them that was better than they thought they could do, number one, they'll never do whatever you did better, they'll never do it with you, ever. Like, if you fix something, they're going to turn it into, oh, well, yeah, you obviously don't need my help because you know everything. Believe it. Believe it. Okay? I've spent thousands of dollars around the house refixing things that guys said that they could help me with. I took them to look at it. They looked at it, I went pee, and then all of a sudden my garage door was broken by somebody who didn't even let me know that he was doing something. He was just there to give me advice. If I ask people for their input, it means I'm putting it into my collective data bank in order to configure the best strategy for me to pull it off. Because let me tell you something, just because it's got a dick and some tools, what? I mean, if a guy walks in with a tool belt and says, hey man, I'm here to fix your toilet, and you just assume he knows what he's doing, comes back 3 times and charges you $800, and you're a fucking idiot. I mean, especially with YouTube. I mean, it's so easy, ladies. So easy. I will teach you. And I don't want you to take the men down, because honestly, dude, if you can't even discuss anything with me like I'm a person and you're a person and you're yelling like you're winning and blabbering, then I'm sitting there with my phone probably like this, just so I can feel the vibrations, right? Of like when it's my turn to talk. Can I talk? Oh, okay. One time though, I did make the mistake of thinking that it would just be better worth my time in order to not hang up, because if you hang up on them, you're automatically a crazy bitch. It makes it worse. You take your Bluetooth wireless headphones that you're talking to them on, and I went like this. I put them down and walked out of the room and just left him to talk to himself. But I regretted not taping the conversation first, because I wish I would have known how long he was on there ranting. Like, what if it was like 20 minutes? Like, it could have been an hour. I have no idea, because I don't have a timestamp on the thing. But I would have loved to listen to that part when he realized, hello? Hello? Click. So be sure you record that. But just because they're ranting and they've got something to say, they're going to say the same thing every time if they keep interrupting you and won't let you say anything. It's just going to be on loop. It's not worth it. Let them say it over and over and over again. But change your behavior and your reaction, because they're going to tell you things about them that you never expected. They're going to call you names that are not going to be any kind of warranted or accurate, or throw accusations like, you're a liar. That's my favorite one. I'm like the least liary person in the world. Last time I got accused of being, not being where I said I was, which I was at my house, I literally said, oh, okay, well, I'll just share all my locations with you forever. Because I have nothing to hide. Like, if you are of use to me and I am of use to you, what am I fucking hiding? That's like cool. But if I'm hiding, then why am I with you in the first place? Because I really should kind of just be allowed to be an adult. You know, like, give me a reason to accuse me of lying. I mean, like why, where are you getting that from? You know? And then I realized that, oh yeah, it's just like that thing. My friend Jessica Henley, when I was working at Out of Bounds, I used to get accused all the time of doing drugs, or at least so I thought. People would see me at the bar at 2 a.m. with a 2-liter of Diet Mountain Dew. And depending on what we're talking about, if it was music, I'd get really excited and animated, talk really fast. And they'd be like, what are you on? And I would get my feelings hurt. Like, seriously, because I thought I was weird in such a sense that they thought I actually did drugs, which I definitely don't do drugs. I don't even know anything about it. Made the mistake of dating 2 people that had anything to do with it, and it was a nightmare. Oh my God, I know nothing about it. But she totally cleared my issue up for me one day when she said, Sarah, honey, they're not accusing you of drugs. They're asking you if you're on them because they want some too. And I went, huh. Well, isn't that a shitter? So they've been out since probably happy hour. So like 5 o'clock, I roll in there at 2 a.m. because honestly, it is a waste to go out socially before 2 a.m. because you're dealing with so much riffraff bullshit. Everybody you don't want to be around, the ones that go, oh my God, that's my song. All those people by 2 a.m. are either that shit-faced to where their friends have left them in the quarter and they're now wandering down Bourbon Street with one shoe and vomit in their hair, which is hilarious to see. Sometimes with a gentleman of a different race that is very, very pimp-looky and like, you know, she was with the wedding party. That was even funnier. But at 2 a.m., that's when the shit, like, you can see everything that was bad without them actually being bad in your face. I mean, seriously, ladies, the first bar strategy I invented came from one night at the Boot. It was happy hour. School was not in session. It was me, my friend Toto, by the pool tables, and this group of girls out of nowhere just comes in with these big boxy ass fucking purses, okay? Like, I don't know, some fancy name brand bullshit with that annoying little flap that doesn't have a function. It just is there flapping. But anyway, she comes and she actually stands right up next to my back. Now this is an empty bar. An empty bar. Granted, we were in between the door and the ladies' room, but still, she could have stood like a normal person's distance away, but she encroached on my bubble. I'm sitting there at the bar like this, and all of a sudden I feel this purse in my back, nudging me away. Now, how to react? The best way to react is to react in a manner that will never, ever be understood or expected at all. Don't just do the opposite of what you should do. Do something opposite, the opposite, in a positive way, and you should see what happens. This girl's purse was nudging me forward. So I did the most ridiculous thing ever, an uncomfortable lean, which kind of goes like this. And I just slow leaned on this girl so hard that she's slowly talking to her friend, and she started leaning. And she just slow, because it was so slow and gradual, she just started leaning and she got uncomfortable. And she goes to her friends, we need to leave. This girl's so weird. It's making me uncomfortable. And the gaggle of ladies left the establishment. Toto clapped. And I went, thank you, sir. Why? Because problem alleviated. Go to your people. Go to your purse people. Go. Go lose a shoe and get vomit in your hair and pretend like you're not drunk and then black out. That's cool. That is not what you do when nobody else is doing it, because maybe those people are just there to chill. All right? Don't encroach my fucking bubble either. Men or women. Like, first of all, I look people in the eyes when they talk. And when they come in like this, I'm like, whoa. Now, ladies, there are several things you can say when somebody you don't want to talk to is talking to you. You can tell them, ew, Do you have a breath mint? You've got halitosis issues. First of all, they probably don't know what halitosis is, so they're going to be confused. That's why I go like this to let them know that it's their breath. Second, oh my gosh, can you please back up? I cannot hear what you're saying. I suck at reading lips, and I like to look people in the eyes. So, like, seriously. Third thing, hook your feet on the bottom of the chair and lean and keep leaning back. Be like, whoa, dude. I didn't come for a Pilates exercise. Could you please back up? Ladies, when you meet a man for the first time ever, he's not your friend or someone that you trust. Do not, under any circumstances, let him come in for the cheek kiss. That's the southern thing. Here's the thing. You don't know them. They don't know you. They are horny constantly. You've got a vagina. That is your asset. All right? It doesn't matter what they make you believe. It doesn't matter what they say. First of all, what they're going to do is try to bolster their fucking ego up by giving you some fucking verbal resume of why you should like them. Which automatically, red flag. First of all, full of shit. A wise man never says he is. People that get laid don't talk about getting laid. People who are who they are don't need to say shit about it. So if they're telling you who they are, first of all, they're trying to control your opinion of who they are by limiting the information in a manner that is flattering to the character that they choose to be. So they're trying to play you against you, crossing their fingers and hoping it works. But you got to listen for certain things. First of all, the ones that start getting drunk and telling stories repeatedly. Like, if someone's telling a story and they told that same story exactly the same way a week earlier, be forewarned. Those guys have their game down pat so hard and for so long that number one, they are running on autopilot. They know when to wink, nod, hug, shake, whatever they need to do because they've done it so many times before and it's been so effective. Keep your mouth shut. Shake their hand. See if they ask you any questions about you. Don't volunteer information. Don't ever volunteer information. I'm the number one culprit of volunteering information, such as I'm an artist, I'm an athlete, blah, blah, blah. Nope. The only trophies I keep around the house are my golf trophies that I got at Trinity because I thought it was hilarious that as a little kid, 5th through 8th grade, I was on the golf team because I had a crush on almost every guy that was on the golf team, period. I played once a year in the Arden Peak Cahill tournament they held at Stonebridge every year, once a year. And me, the girl that only played the once a year, would go out to Stonebridge, which was, oh my gosh, I'm in a van with hot guys, looking like a dyke because I was forced to wear a polo t-shirt with khakis in the heat. So not flattering, such not a great look, but I got to hang out with the boys, so it worked out just fine for me because I always rolled out with the trophies. Why? Because I like to hit the shit out of balls. Everybody knows me knows that I touch balls. You want to see a fast twitch sporter try to hit the shit out of something? Give her a ball and one of these. Ladies and gentlemen, magical tools of the trade. The Big Bertha. This golf club, if you want to know if you're in shape enough to play a sport, take this golf club. Go to a driving range. Hit one ball. If you hear anything other than the thwack, and a clear, far-ass shot straight down the fairway, you're not in shape enough to actually be in control of your core, so I wouldn't suggest it. Now, my other favorite. This is my hockey stick. I played hockey for about 1 month, roller hockey, in about, I want to say it was about 1992 or some shit like that. Why? Because I like to knock down the boys at recess on the soccer field. And this was the next best thing because soccer, that was only available for me for recess for like the time that soccer was in season. So I had approximately like 1 season's worth of like body contact with all the hot guys that I wanted to touch. But I had to avoid all the ugly ones. So I learned how to body check the ugly ones to chase after the faster hot ones. And this was also about how my little brother and his friends used to play, and they were littler than me, and that was the year that the boys that were my grade got their fucking hormones and I could no longer beat them up successfully, so I took my frustration out on my brother and his friends. Sorry, Michael. But they were smaller. Anyway, that hockey stick is number 1, great to clean up the house with. It is so much fun. And when you figure out how to flip stuff into every garbage can, you kind of feel a little pimp-like. You're like, yeah, didn't even have to bend over. And it's also the best device to reach something excessively far away from a lazy couch-like position and get it to you. It's magical. I used to think that a fishing rod would work, but what? No, what was I thinking? That was an awful idea. Awful. Awful. This bitch, though, this works. Yes, that's the only reason why I have it. Number 1, sentimental values, because I used to beat my brother up with it. However, fun and practical. And lazy. But more fun than anything else. Now, I bring this up because most of you have seen me play beach volleyball, and most of y'all have seen the White Sands years. Now, when I used to hit the ball up against that wall and then I started using my feet and punching it and doing it really fast, there's actually a very, very practical application for why I did that. I did research and I figured out a lot of shit that people don't tell people out there about everything about the game. Just like everything in life, it's not finite. There's a reason why medical doctors have to like keep up with research and get reissued their license by taking a test. Just because you learned how to throw darts, old man, 20 years ago, that don't mean your shit don't stink, and that don't mean you have the right to interrupt me in my backswing when I'm getting ready to throw the damn thing and say, you're doing it wrong. Which, if you tell me I'm doing it wrong, and I take out my phone and I say, nuh-uh, what I'm holding in front of you is proof. If you would choose to ignore it, then I'm going to make fun of your fucking ass forever because you actually had a chance to learn something from someone who didn't ever for a second think that somebody who doesn't understand what interrupting a backswing is with the comment from the crowd is a fucking nightmare. All right? As in, like, you think you're playing this sport? What? Did you always ride the pine? Were you ever even on a team? Is this your life? Because darts is not life. Ping pong is not life. Pool is not life. The W is not the goal. The goal is to challenge yourself to excel. All right? I would rather lose all day to a better team and hustle my ass off than win the beginner bracket and barely do a damn thing. What would I have learned? And what would I have earned? Dude, the prizes out there are t-shirts. I don't even play with the shirt on because I sweat like a pig. I don't have use for that gift. Thank you, by the way, Spikes, for my lovely and very, 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 very frequently used volleyball bag, which I was provided because I spoke up and said, I don't wear t-shirts. I'm either sweating and playing hard, or I'm wearing something comfortable that I could potentially sweat and play hard in with something that I could play hard in without the shirt on. Period. I'm not dressing up for anybody other than myself. All right? So let's just get this straight. I don't need any more clothes. If I could trade all of the t-shirts that I've won over the years playing anything in beach volleyball for some more practice balls, now you're talking. I'll invest in that gift. Fuck. I mean, come on. The gift of an opportunity to play more and practice more constantly. Ah, please, God, yes. Another t-shirt? What? Clothes? And not even a practical gift either. Like, give me a sports bra. Under Armour sports bra with the complex, I'm down. Under Armour's for athletes. I get it. I've had this conversation with several athletes and we're all on the same page. If you're a medium in Under Armour, you are a medium in real life. Under Armour does not lie to you. And if you're a medium in 41, it means you've earned it, which feels good. And durability. All the seams are perfect. Nothing rubs, gives you rashes. It's just designed really well for hard sports. But anyway, I bring this up because it doesn't matter which way you cut it. If I'm beating you, it means I like playing you. If you've taught me something new and I've excelled too fast and you get your panties in a bunch about it and start acting like a girl, I'm not going to care. You served your purpose and taught me something new that I like, and that's all I care about. So what I need you guys to understand is that if you can't let somebody be themselves and understand that unsolicited advice from anybody to anybody is a slap in the face, totally unwarranted, completely unnecessary, and also, hey, why don't you give the person that you're advising the chance to get real advice from the people who do know what they're talking about? Because those people can tell when somebody's asking the right questions to the right people. If you see someone do something and you want to learn how to do it and you have the chops to walk right up to that person when you get the opportunity to say, hey, how did you do that? First of all, it means that you're at least a big enough athlete to have recognized that there was something going on over there that strategically you wanted to learn because it was useful. It worked. Teach me. And if you had the chops to just walk up to a stranger and ask them, they're going to tell you because they're telling you because you want the information. First mistake I made in beach volleyball ever, trying to help my friends improve their games by doing research in the first place because all I was surrounded with were whiny ass motherfuckers. That's right, guys. I'm talking about all y'all. You know what I learned about boys that play beach volleyball? Unless they can tell you how they like their sets, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're not even gonna clear the net. You could clear it better than they could. If you're a girl and you ever played volleyball in your life, stand flat-footed and swing and hit it over the net. Because those other guys, the ones that tell you to play a flat back three or play the lanes or all that shit and can't even tell you what kind of set they like, they're never gonna clear the net when they approach it. Which is why, I don't understand you ladies. Why aren't we out there playing men's net? It actually levels the playing field on their turf. Seriously, they fuck it up so much that if you look at it and think about it, 90% of the points that your team lost all season came from attacks that were made by men who think they know what they're doing because they're just mimicking what they see. Is it smart? No. Everybody knows that the hardest shot to actually scoop up in beach volleyball is a cut shot. Just boop, boop, bloop. Unless you're 10 feet tall, have a wingspan of like 20 more feet, or a vertical of 20,000 feet, Wanya, you shouldn't be approaching the net. And not even at least until you can get your arm swing down flat-footed and place it somewhere where it makes sense. If you can't stand flat-footed and look at the other side of the court and see where the hole is, aim it and hit it, flat-footed, then you're setting. When you get up to the front, you're setting. I don't care what you think. You're gonna block and set, and that's it. And in all honesty, when I tell those guys they're gonna set and block the whole time, it's because the only use they have at that point is for me to trust them to get the hit to go somewhere other than wherever they are. So in other words, they're not actually up there because their blocks are ever going to be successful for anything, because even if they do touch it, it's still going to come over and drop. But I'd rather one fucked up block point loss than to have nobody at the net intimidating whoever's getting ready to hit and just letting them have free range. So you need basically someone to be like, not here, not here. And as for setting, dude, because those guys aren't trained and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, their bump sets are the same as everybody else's. All right? Anybody that was a hand setter knows that bump sets are the scariest thing to be looking at when you're at that net and you're a hand setter. Why? Because you're looking at the ball spinning sideways and you know that it's going to come off your arms funny, and you've got to counter it just so that it goes even where you want it to. So you've already got to learn every fucking counter motion to each type of spin and how fast it's moving. But you're also getting pulled off of the net and can't even see where your hitters are. So my face, when I have to bump set, looks like this. Why? Because who sets somebody blind and thinks that it's going to result in anything other than an awkward mishit of an attack from a guy who doesn't even know what he's doing? Seriously. Now, I went through all of that spiel just to let you guys know I did it with intent. If you met a girl who could talk shop